Today I will be reviewing Mortal Kombat X. I would also like to mention that I played on very easy. Because Mortal Kombat X is a fighting game, I will start off the review with the controls. The controls are what you would expect in a fighting game. Some of the characters move faster and control easier than others. I do not like playing as the characters that move slower, because usually that means the combo attacks are very hard to complete, or there are not any combo moves at all. Another complaint that I have about the controls is that some of the fatalities are almost impossible to do. For instance, some of the fatalities where you have to press up are really hard to complete. The reason for this is that when you are supposed to do those types of fatalities, you're supposed to hold the RT button while you do the up and down. It is not specified within the pause menu that you have to do this. I would have liked them to include this option to show us that we have to hold that button down while completing those set of moves. I'm pretty sure you can change the controls within the game, but I highly do not suggest doing this because it would mess you up very easily. Now on to the music. The music does suit the story. Most of the music was during the fighting, not the actual cutscenes, and the music during the cutscenes seemed very average to me, not very unique, and didn't add very much to the story. The music is nice to listen to in the background of the fight scenes, and it suits in with the background and the action. The sound effects are incredibly well done. The sound effects are very realistic, and I commend them for making very realistic sound effects. The volume is very well balanced between the cutscenes and the actual gameplay. I'm very impressed with the sound design of this game overall. Now for the graphics. The graphics are very well done for its time. It is very realistic looking in that the fatalities look especially realistic to the point where sometimes you can actually feel the character's pain during the fatalities. Everything is very clear looking within the game, unless you were like 30 centimeters away from the TV screen. There are a lot of cutscenes in this game, and in the cutscenes the graphics are pretty good as well. The only problem I have is that the way they were trying to show how good the graphics were. The way they did this was by showing moisture on characters, and I personally do not like that. The moisture is so high at points that it actually makes it less realistic. And the main plot line is that the enemy is trying to revive an old god named Shinnok. The good guys must find a way to stop the release of Shinnok. The story was kind of easy to follow, but most of it was just flashbacks, so that made the game a little bit confusing at times. And in my opinion, it was not very interesting. I got very bored at times. There really aren't any main characters. It's just the main roster of Mortal Kombat. There's quite a lot of content within this game. A lot more than you would expect from a fighting game. There's quite a lot of content within this game. A lot more than you would expect from a fighting game. Unfortunately, you have to pay for those characters and DLCs. There are also these other modes called the towers, which are a returning part of the game. In this mode, you have to face a total of 10 different characters. You have to fight through them to defeat them, and to complete that character's story arc. There are other types of towers, like living towers and challenge towers. In the living towers, you keep on fighting characters until you lose, and this can go on forever. Challenge towers give you a different type of challenge to get through without dying. There is also another type of challenge where you have to match a certain amount of buttons together to complete the challenge. There is multiplayer as well, but I did not go into multiplayer. But I do know that multiplayer has a lot to offer. There is also this place called the Crypt. In the Crypt, you go through a forest and spider's nest to unlock different types of fatalities, costumes, concept art, and music. This is the part of the review where I tell you my opinion about certain things that I would have changed. My first complaint is about the story. The story is incredibly boring, and a lot of the characters are very annoying, and I don't like them a lot. A lot of the main characters seem very arrogant. We had no real backstory towards them, so we did not have any attachment towards them. I will get into a minor spoiler here, but it's not too bad. At the end of the game, Takeda and Jackie Briggs suddenly fall in love with each other. This was a very unexpected move. I was never teased throughout the story, and it just came out of left field and made no sense at all. A lot of the younger characters were just way too arrogant for my liking, and there was nothing likable about them. The only likable characters within the game were the returning characters from the past games. The second thing that I really do not like is the fact that when you're going through the crypt, you have to go through the spider's nest. As someone who has arachnophobia, this was the worst experience I've ever had in a video game. I don't mind the fact that there is a spider cave. The thing that I do mind is the fact that out of nowhere, sometimes a spider can jump out and scare you. I got to the point where I refused to go in there because it was too scary. It may seem like a minor inconvenience, but the people who are genuinely scared of spiders can't unlock certain things because of this. I would have rather them not have the spiders in the game at all. My third and final complaint about the game is the difficulty. I had no choice but to play very easy because medium was way too hard. Just like the game Injustice, the difficulty did not match up. This game was worse with that. When I was playing on medium, I felt like I was playing on hard. I can only imagine what playing on hard is like. I try hard to play on medium on a lot of games. This game is just too much to handle. But I did have a lot of fun with this game. And the only time I ever got bored was during the story mode. This game was fun because in order to unlock certain things, you had to play the game, and while playing the game, you learned new things and new moves that you can use in future matches. I would definitely replay this game again because it was just so much fun doing fatalities and just beating the crap out of other characters however you want. I also like the variety in fatalities, and sometimes if I just wanted my anger out, I would just play this game and I'd feel much better afterwards. And the story is crappy, but everything else is great. So with all of that said, I usually end the reviews with the number out of 10. And for Mortal Kombat X, I give this a 7.5 out of 10. I give this game a 7.5 out of 10 because most of the game is great. The only problem I have is that the story is terrible, but the gameplay is great. Yes, some of the characters are annoying, but you can just choose not to play as them. And the sound is perfect. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you will return for the next review. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.